Sometimes, when you look to maximize your athletic prowess, your journey takes many twists and turns. For former Michigan quarterback Shane Morris, things didn't work out as planned with the Maize and Blue. However, he gets his shot at redemption with the Central Michigan Chippewas to prove his worth, both in college football and at the next level. Nate Snyder is a Central Michigan football beat writer for the Mount Pleasant Morning Sun. He joined me on Monday to discuss whether or not he believes Morris can fire up the chips and his career. Good stuff, Nate. First of all, we want to take the time to welcome you to the Two Man Advantage podcast, and we're excited to talk some Central Michigan football with you this afternoon.
Thanks for having me on.
So when we look at Shane Morris and him transferring to CMU, I'm just wondering if we can start you off with what athletically do you think Central saw in Morris so that they would offer him the opportunity to transfer there?
Right. I think a lot of it had to do with losing Cooper Rush to graduation. He was a 4-year starter at Central Michigan, a very good quarterback. And they were in a position where they didn't really have any experience returning at quarterback. You have redshirt freshman Tony Poljan, who's probably the front runner, at least before Morris entered the fold. And then Austin Herget and Tommy Lazzaro have never played in a they have never thrown a pass in an actual game, only spring games and practice and that kind of thing. And then another quarterback, Jake Johnson, who was very talented, had to retire due to concussions, brain injuries, that kind of thing. So they were in a position where they didn't have any experience, and Shane Morris was a guy that was looking for another opportunity, like you said, and I think it was a perfect fit for Central Michigan football and Shane Morris to kind of really give him another shot at taking control of a team at the quarterback position.
And you just mentioned how much does the inexperience at quarterback help Morris's position in order to start next year for CMU?
Yeah, it definitely gives him maybe the inside edge because he has taken snaps. He's played in some big games. He never got that long-term shot at Michigan, but he definitely played in some high-profile games. So he has that where no other quarterback at Central Michigan has that experience anymore. So he's definitely going to be someone that's really looked to for that leadership, guidance, that sort of thing. And he definitely has a talent. When he came out of high school, he was a 4 or 5-star recruit. Much valued recruit, even though it didn't necessarily work out great at Michigan. Central Michigan's a spot in the MAC where he can really maybe make some waves this next year if everything kind of falls into place for him.
And how much do you think the adversity at Michigan will help him as he makes the transition to CMU?
Yeah, I mean, that's big-time college football. You have a quarterback guru in Jim Harbaugh there that I'm sure worked extensively with Morris. And, you know, he never did get that shot to start a complete season. When you're at a Big Ten school, a school as prestigious as Michigan, you're learning all the ropes. He's a very talented kid, and I don't see any reason why he can't excel at Central Michigan.
And obviously, there's been no decision made at quarterback. But how, if Morris is the starter, how valuable do you think it is that he has basically his entire offense returning, and how much do you think that'll help him get up to speed as he learns the ropes there at CMU?
Right. Yeah, you have basically the entire receiving core returning. The running back position is very deep. I think the major question mark is probably on the offensive line. If they can block up front in both the run and pass game, it's an offense that can really do some damage this year. They're moving to a spread offense from a more traditional pro-style offense. So it's definitely going to be a transition for everyone, but I think it fits the personnel well. You have receivers like Corey Willis and Mark Chapman that are really guys that excel in space, and the running backs kind of fit into the offense as well, whether it's Devin Spalding or Jonathan Ward. Guys that can really, if you get them in the open field, can do a lot of damage. So I think Shane can really be the guy that guides his offense. It's going to be down to him and Tony Poljan. And also I think maybe a guy like Tommy Lazaro can work into some different packages since he's kind of a more athletic guy than either Tony or Shane. But it's going to be an interesting competition. Whoever takes the job really has like you said, a great offense to work with so many returning pieces.
Now, obviously the Chippewas, most of their recruiting is in-state, and certainly Morris will have some familiar faces. I know he's rooming with Josh Cox, who he has familiarity with. His predecessor at his high school is now an assistant coach there, and Braylon Edwards' younger brother is also there. So can you tell me how much you think familiarity will breed comfort, and how much having people that he has previous relationships with will help him at CMU?
Yeah, I had to play a big reason in why he chose Central Michigan. I heard rumors. I think Western Michigan was strongly interested in him as well, and he had a few different options. But I think it definitely played probably as big as a role as anything. The fact that, like you said, Josh Cox is around, and Berkeley Edwards, guys that he knows and is familiar with, and it's familiar. Just a familiar situation helps anyone in a transition. I think someone like Shane was definitely looking for that, and not only that, but also a spot where he could win a job. So Central Michigan was really kind of, I think, the front runner from the start, and it didn't surprise me at all when they landed him. And I don't know personally from Shane where he weighed everything as far as what the most important aspects of the move were, since I haven't really talked to him yet. He wasn't at spring ball, obviously. He was still working on graduating from Michigan, but those have to be right at the top of the list. Just a spot where he can win a job, and also guys that he's familiar with, like Josh Cox and Berkeley Edwards and Paul Verska. So, it's I think as perfect of a fit as he could possibly find for a new school.
And now, in terms of him wanting to sort of get a last shot at the NFL, I know he recently said that he's looking at players like Mitchell Trubisky, who only have one solid year of starting, and now he's the second pick in the draft. He also mentioned Thomas Rawls as well. So how do you think him having a chance to start will affect his ability to play at the next level?
Yeah, those are two great examples. Obviously, one plays his position, and Thomas is a running back. But Thomas Rawls, the guy that came to Central Michigan, went from the same school, Michigan, to a Mid-American Conference school, and it excelled for 1 year, and it really propelled him into the NFL. He didn't get drafted because running back is as hard as any position to really get drafted in the NFL, or at least high. But signed with Seattle as an undrafted free agent, and has really carved out a career in the last 2-3 years. So he's someone that really Shane is right to kind of look at as someone that can be a role model for what he wants to do in this next year. And then Mitchell Trubisky, one great year at North Carolina, and it got him into a high first-round draft pick. So I don't know if Shane can do it. I don't know if he's really at that Mitchell Trubisky level, but we're going to find out really fast this fall. If he wins the job, he can definitely get some NFL scouts looking really fast.
And when you look at it from a marketing perspective from the university, do you think if Morris wins the job, there are any marketing advantages since he has a marketable last name and people know who he is? Do you think they can get excited about Central Michigan football with him under center?
You would think so, yeah. I mean, he's a name that's been talked about in the state the last 4 or 5 years extensively, even despite not playing a lot at Michigan. Um, so yeah, I think people are definitely, especially at the start of the season, are going to be really interested in what he can bring to the table. First, he has to win the job, like we've said. But if he does win that job, and he's a starting quarterback for Central Michigan for the majority of the season, I think it's definitely going to add some butts to the seats. I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Assuming that Morris is the starter, how large is the ceiling and how far do you think Central Michigan football can go?
Yeah, it's going to be. It's a little bit unpredictable in the MAC this year with Western losing some pieces and Toledo's still going to be really good, and I'm sure Northern Illinois is probably going to be better. But and Eastern really came on last year, so I think it's going to be a wide open MAC West division. But I think they can go as far as Shane Morris can take them. Really, I don't know if they're going to really. I don't know if they can win the MAC West, but I think they're probably going to be in that top 2 or 3. I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Alrighty, Knight, we want to take some time to thank you for your comments and insights and talking Shane Morris and Central Michigan football with us on the Two Man Advantage podcast. It was a lot of fun, and we had a great time doing it, buddy. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you having me on.